What's up guys, welcome back to my little corner on the internet. Today I thought I would do things a little bit different. I think about random things all the time, especially when I do my makeup. Like my mind just travels because I'm not really thinking about what I'm doing. And it's a little bit of like a therapeutic release, and I have a bunch of these random thoughts that I don't know if other people have or if I'm the only one who thinks these things, but I come to some realizations while I'm doing my makeup, and today I thought it would be funny and fun to bring you along in that journey of exploring some of these random, maybe smart, maybe dumb thoughts. So let's get started. I'm not expecting anyone to follow or listen to any kind of makeup advice from me. I'll say what I'm using, but like, I make no promises that anything is good. For my concealer, I'm just gonna start with eyes. I'm using my Fit Me Conceal. I haven't used this in years. Found it this week at Target because I needed a concealer. So I am in the shade 05 Ivory, but I don't know if this is the right shade for me. So now that we have wiped out every single trace of vein that we have in our face, I'm going to set my concealer with my Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder, which I also never tried, but saw it at Target this week and decided to give it a go. If you hear any sound, that's my dog. So let's start. My first thing that I would like to talk about is a struggle that I have every single time I purchase this item. And I don't know if I'm the only person that has this struggle, but I've never heard anyone talk about it, and I would like to know how to solve this problem. Oh my gosh, my dog's like banging at the door. And this is why bacon packaging sucks. I have never opened a fresh package of bacon and then known how to reseal it. They're not like the other packages of things that come with a little like Ziploc type seal. You open this package of bacon, and then when I want to store it, I do like the roll, and I just roll the edge over, and then I shove it under the eggs in my fridge. Why is bacon packaging like the worst technology ever created? That's just more of like a little rant. What I've started doing is when I buy a new package of bacon, I take it all out of the package, I cut the bacon strips in half, and then I split them in between 2 Ziploc bags. And I've just found that that's the best way to ease my mind from thinking that the bacon is just sitting in the fridge open. It's just like raw meat open. But if you have any solutions to this, or if I just like don't know how to open a package of bacon, please let me know what I'm doing wrong. For my eyes, I'm using the Tati Beauty palette, which makes me sound like I'm good at what I do, but no, this was a Valentine's Day gift from my husband because he's the best. But I am subpar, stick to neutral colors. That's me. So I'm just gonna do my thing. I'm sure no one wants to know what I'm actually doing. The next thing, this is more of like a theory that I've developed throughout a couple years. This is from a season where I really liked watching the sunrises and sunsets, so I'd wake up really, really early to go watch them. I just had one of these like moments where I'm like, whoa, is this real? So here it is. Okay, one day, we're all gonna die. So dark. One day, we're all gonna die. Hopefully, I can't say we're all gonna go to heaven, but let's just assume, right? So we're in heaven. Fantastic. Now, here on earth, we have God-given gifts and talents. Some people can sing, some people can play instruments, some people can paint. This could be terrible theology and heretical, so I don't know. I haven't really done research on any of this. This is just my brain. I wonder if when we get to heaven, we still get to use these gifts. You're a worship leader here on earth. Are you going to be a worship leader in heaven? Because we're going to be worshiping God forever, right? Will worship leaders still be worship leaders? But what I really wonder, every day the sunset and the sunrise is different. There's no two that are exactly the same. I wonder if in heaven there's the painters and the artists, and God is like, hey, go paint the sunset, go paint the sunrise. And God lets the artists in heaven paint a unique sunset or sunrise every single day for us, right? Wouldn't that be cool? Because God is a creative God. Obviously, he created all of this. So I feel like it would make sense that people are still creative in heaven and allowed to express their creativity, which is God-given. So wouldn't it be crazy if every morning and every night, the sunset, it looks like I'm spreading nothing on my eyelids for the past 5 minutes because it's literally the lightest pink shade ever. So for the past 5 minutes, I'm just going like this. Okay, well, whatever. I just feel like it would be really cool to find out that the sunsets and the sunrises that we watched were actually artists that painted them. I feel like that's not that bad of theology or like that far-fetched, you know? I feel like it could be a possibility. I just spread Aura, this shade right here, on my eyelids for the past 5 minutes. I'm gonna look for a deeper neutral tone and put that in my inner corner. What I think I'm gonna do, I'm gonna break the rules, and I'm actually gonna take my Hoola bronzer and use that as my inner corner, whatever eye contour shade. Okay, so that is my Are Artists Still a Thing / Are They Painting the Sunset theory. Recently, I've been pretty fascinated by all things like sky, space, you know where I'm going with this, aliens, and I've just been wondering, are aliens real? And if aliens are real, I mean, can they get saved? These are things I wonder. Can aliens get saved if we find out they're real? I go through like kicks of really being into like watching a certain genre on YouTube. Like last year, I went through this kick of this guy, Mr. Bright Idea or something like that on YouTube. His millions of subscribers and makes these videos, and he made one about the pyramids and how they conducted electricity. What's his name? Nikola Tesla. He was gonna prove it, and then he mysteriously got killed or something, and all his research was burned down. I don't know too much about it, but I get into kicks of like, are aliens real and that kind of stuff. So recently I'm in one of these kicks right now, and I watched a Joe Rogan podcast and he interviewed this guy named Bob Lazar, this guy who used to work not on Area 51 but like 15 miles south of Area 51. I think it was called like S4 or something. And I'm totally gonna sound like a conspiracy theorist for the next like 10 minutes, but who cares? So I'm really just packing this bronzer up in my crease right now. First of all, the Pentagon released UFO footage. This craft that the Pentagon released was literally like defying the laws of physics by its maneuvering and how fast it was moving. There's definitely some sort of crazy technology that we have no idea about and is so far beyond us. But like, where the heck does it come from? So that's where Bob Lazar, he worked for, I don't know what these people would be called. He worked for the government back in the 80s. So this was a long time ago. Well, make the 80s sound like it was 200 years ago. It was in the 80s. And he was I think scientist, physicist, something like that. And he actually came to the government's attention or something because he put a jet engine on his like Honda. And so he had like this super, super powerful engine in his like little Honda. The government hired him to work on these aircrafts. Now, he goes in, and I'm gonna probably not explain this as well as it needs to be explained, so you should probably just watch the Joe Rogan podcast on this. But there's also a Netflix documentary, I think it's like Aliens and Flying Saucers, something like that, Bob Lazar. He started working for the government, right? He goes into this like base, and they introduce him to this aircraft that he said what seems like it was built for something that's like 4 feet like tall. He says that it was unlike anything that he has ever worked on before, and his job, he had a partner, forgot his partner's name. His partner had been working on this machine for a while. The guy who was working before him on this aircraft like passed away or something. There's an accident that happened, the guy died. Their job is to figure out how this aircraft works. No one has any idea how it works. And there are 9 of them that other teams are working on. And so him and his partner in each section is only briefed and only given information on the exact craft they're working on. They don't know where it comes from, and he says that he's pretty sure that in the brief they put misinformation for tracking purposes if things are ever leaked, but also in order to like divert from the truth. He remembers at some point someone talking about one of the aircraft being found in an archaeological dig. I've always thought that like if aliens are real, or if there is something out there, it is in outer space. I never thought that crazy technology could be passed. If something like this is from an archaeological dig, it could mean that we are not the smartest, most advanced, intelligent civilization. And I heard someone say on the internet at some point, our biggest mistake as civilization is to assume that we are the smartest we've ever been and most technologically advanced that we have ever been now. If that's true, which I actually think that makes sense. Isn't it so like human of us to just think that we are the smartest we've ever been ever right now and completely just like disregard the thought that in the past there could have been smarter people than us and people who invented these like crazy machines. Like I always think about how the heck were the pyramids built? Like there's literally no way that the pyramids were built by just like men cutting stone with like normal tools. There's no way, literally no way. It would take so long. So I feel like some form of technology had to be around back when the Egyptians were around. Anywho, Bob Lazar is working on this aircraft. Other people were working on like different portions of the craft or different aircraft. Oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm doing with my eyes right now. He got to see this one specific aircraft that he was working on fly. He knew the schedule of the flying tests were Wednesday. And there's like this whole thing on like why all of this is real, because Bob Lazar was claiming that there was this element 115 that was real, and I guess like no one believed him, and then like a couple years later it was discovered, something like that. Things that he claimed in the past have proven to be true. So we know that Bob Lazar isn't lying. And he doesn't act like a conspiracy theorist. He's not like, oh, aliens are real. He's into the super advanced technology. He's like, I don't care. He doesn't follow like UFO stuff or like, are aliens real kind of stuff, which makes me believe him even more. We do have technology that science today cannot comprehend how it works. He explained what the government has done in the past is realize that they have this crazy technology that no one can figure out, no scientists. So what they do is they put it away, they hide it, they store it until science and technology catches up, and then they bring it back out and now have people work on it again, which is crazy because he was working on this in the 80s, on this aircraft that flies in a way that defies physics, and it creates its own gravitational like shield around it. If man can create gravity, it's the ultimate weapon and you can control everything. This was in the 80s, right? And right now we are in 2020. The technological and like scientific advancement that has happened within these years is unreal. I just think it's kind of interesting that now we're going back to space, right? Elon Musk, I didn't know this. I don't know if this is no common information, but a lot of satellites that are in space are actually privately owned. Individual privately owned corporations are in the space race, which is crazy because if a private corporation comes up with like a crazy discovery, does that mean that like they don't have to share it with the world? Like no one needs to know. You know what my problem is? I can never get like the shape of my eyeshadow to match. Like see how this is like nice and like, and then like I can never get that to match. So I was watching this other video on YouTube last night, and it was by the same guy, Bright Insight. He was talking about the moon and how like there's something going on on the moon right now and no one's really talking about it. There's not like any headlines about it, which I mean, I feel like I have my own little conspiracy theory about the fact that there's so much turmoil going on right now here on Earth, and it's distracting from the space exploration and all that's happening in space right now. We didn't know this, and I guess it's like common information, but only if you like research it. The moon has minerals, is like chock full of different minerals that we need here on Earth that we currently, I think, mine from like China. How much China has left can only last like another 20 years. So currently, China, the United States, and Russia, not together, separately against each other, I guess, technically, all on a race to get to the moon and mine it for like elements. So they're calling it the space gold rush or something like that, which is insane. And I just think it's kind of sketchy. There's a whole lot being thrown at everyone in 2020, and it's keeping everyone from paying attention to all the stuff going on in the spaces. I don't know if I would go so far as to say like aliens are real. Whether it was a past civilization that was way more technologically advanced than we are, or something else, I do believe that these aircraft that Bob Lazar is talking about, I mean, the Pentagon released that they have unknown footage, so there's definitely something that we don't understand. Isn't that kind of creepy to know that there's technology and aircraft and things that fly that we have no idea what they are and how they are literally defying the laws of physics? I think this is as good as my eyes are gonna get. Enough about aliens. I'm going to move on to my foundation. I'm using Clinique Even Better in the shade 04 Warm Neutral Bone, but I think it's a little bit too pink for me. I've always felt that way about it, but whatever. No foundation really matches me. Struggle and every foundation is too pink for me because whoever matches me at Sephora never understands that I'm really yellow. Something else that's kind of like mind-boggling to me. Why do humans no longer need their appendixes? How many people get their appendix removed? I did. When I was in 9th grade, my appendix was very, very, very infected, or whatever appendixes get. I don't know. They get bad, broken, busted. And I was having fevers and throwing up for like weeks. And I would go to the doctors and they would be like, oh, it's the stomach flu. And I'd be like, okay. I would get better for a day and then it would happen all over again. And it was like, you don't have the stomach flu for weeks. 3rd time going to the doctor in the middle of like summer. It's like hot, like May. Right? Okay, not technically summer, but it was really hot. I was in sweats in the back of the car, shivering. And my mom's taking me to the doctors for the 3rd time for the same exact thing within a month. And this doctor is like squeezing where my appendix is supposed to be. He's like really squeezing it. He's like, does this hurt? Does this hurt? And I'm like, no, this doesn't hurt. And he was like, well, if it was your appendix, then it would hurt. And then he was like, but you know, just in case it's your appendix, go to the ER and they'll do an ultrasound. I was like, sure, whatever, fine. So I went to the ER. Lo and behold, they did an ultrasound and I had to get surgery done like extremely quick because my appendix was really bad and it was about to burst. So I had to get my appendix removed. Right, dandy, I'm fine. But why? Everyone says that humans have evolved and in the past we probably needed our appendix for like, I don't know, when humans like ate rocks or something, or like when our digestive system, I don't know, we ate like less processed foods, like all we eat now is like McDonald's and things that come from factories. So back when humans needed their bodies to do a lot more work to digest these foods. Okay, cool. If we have evolved to no longer need our appendix, then what else are we evolving out of right now? I always think about that. Like the parts of me that I don't use, that maybe we don't know we don't use, are our bodies currently figuring out the next organ that humans don't need, right? And like maybe in the next 100 years, we would see people not having these organs. I know that like some people are born, and I don't know if it's like because of humans like evolving and changing, but some people are born without wisdom teeth. I was born without wisdom teeth. I don't have wisdom teeth at all on the bottom. And the ones at the top I do have, they're just so far up that the dentist said that they'll probably never grow out. And they're too far up that it's like not even worth going in and taking them out. I don't have wisdom teeth in the bottom at all, which some people say is because they keep getting taken out and now it's a thing that eventually our bodies are just not going to grow them anymore. Did my body evolve into not growing wisdom teeth? I think about this especially when I eat like really hard food. I'm eating a steak that's like really chewy and I'm chewing it for a while. I feel like the next day like my jaw hurts. Like my jaw literally hurts. And every time that happens, I'm like, oh my goodness, like my jaw is so weak. Is my jaw just gonna like collapse one day because I don't eat enough like really hard solid foods? Is that bad, you know? Is my body evolving? So that's just, you know, another tangent. Whether or not our bodies are currently choosing the next organ to reject. Something that I have struggled with for years, and I just don't understand why I am this way. I feel like perfume sticks to everyone else but me. Like even like high quality perfumes, right? A nice perfume that's like not all just like rubbing alcohol, you know? It does not stick to me. I will spray it. I will bathe in it. A couple hours later, it's like, oh, I don't smell like anything. Except for when I fry eggs. Like if I'm frying something in the kitchen, if I make some eggs, my hair absorbs all of the smell. And I feel like my skin absorbs all of the smell. And then I smell like fried eggs for the next 2 days. It just confuses me because I don't understand why I feel like everyone else like smells so good and has perfume and smells like perfume. And then my body's just like, huh, perfume? Nope. Every time I do my makeup, by the end, I'm like, it looks orange. I am going to set my face again with the Fit Me powder. Oh my goodness. So I'm gonna take a step back into the conspiracy, Bob Lazar, that realm of thinking. So I started watching for the very first time ever, The Matrix, which messes with your brain. I'm gonna do my eyebrows with my NYX little micro eyebrow pencil shade espresso. My eyebrows look so bad right now. I know that Elon Musk, he thinks that we're in a simulation or whatever, which I believe that we are placed on this earth by God with a purpose. And I fully, wholeheartedly believe that. But isn't it kind of freaky to just like think about it for a little bit? Like I heard someone else say, this whole video is just things I heard other people say. You can't prove that it's not real. I can believe that it's not real, but how do you prove that it's not real, you know? The Matrix, there's like deja vu is like a glitch in the system. Eyebrows are sisters, not twins. This eyebrow always has more rounded arch than this one. This one's like more like, this one's like, I am not a makeup guru. I am not a makeup person. I feel like I do like this format of video where it's like chit chat while I get ready, because I have to get ready anyway, and just talk about things that I have been thinking about, you know, my deep random trails of thought. So if this is something you like, let me know. Or if it's something you hate, let me know. And I won't do them anymore. Or maybe I will, because I do whatever I want on my channel. Lips. Well, I don't use lipstick or anything like it. I just use like chapstick and I call it a day. So that is the finished look if you want to get close. There it is. There it is. There's my face. There's everything. That is it for today's video. I just really wanted to do something like this where I just sit down and explore these channels in my mind and just get it all out. Let me know if you like this kind of video. I would love to do more of them. Make sure you like and subscribe and join me in my little corner of the internet. I would love to have you. I post on this channel every Tuesday and every Friday, so I will see you on Friday. Deuce. I don't know what I'm doing.